like, whew, whoo-wee. Like, I'm going to have to stop playing the instrument. I'm going to have to swap to an instrument with a shorter scale, so I have to stretch my fingers less. It wasn't any of that. It was just that it was tensing up because I was into it. I was engaged. You don't need to do that. It's unnecessary. In fact, it's not even suboptimal. It's anti-optimal. Don't want to do it? Don't do it. Gotta be loose. You gotta imagine you're a rag doll getting blown by the wind. Just like, that's your limbs. Just hands out in front of you drooping. You gotta think about the way you sit naturally. It's like that, but it's with the controller. Anyways, if that didn't help, then I'm out of options. Don't sign up for my coaching lessons because if that didn't help, I'm out of ideas, sorry. Oh my god, is this Death Grips? What a good soundtrack. This sounds like if Mega Man Battle Network combined with like the Shadow the Hedgehog game, what the soundtrack would be like. That's my interpretation, and I'm correct. I already know that. I looked it up. I looked up Shadow the Hedgehog X Mega Man Battle Network, and the soundtrack right there. And it was this. And it was Mega Man. He's like, oh my god. And then it was I don't know what happened. That game was a trip, but it was definitely this soundtrack. I remember it very vividly. Is that like a sound effect, or is that someone going in the background for like 30 years? It sounds like someone going like a car starting up, but not really. It's a car failing to start up. Oh, it's not now. Now it's dial-up tone. The irony here, of course, being the Ice Climbers are living in the past and Samus is living in the future, so neither of them even know what dial-up is. Unfortunate. They probably don't even know who Death Grips are. I mean, I can't ever say I've listened to one of those songs personally, but if I did, this is probably what I would say it sounds like. Is exactly like this. I can say that with confidence. This is music. If I had to take a serious guess what this is, believe it or not, I would not guess that it's Mega Man crossed with Shadow the Hedgehog. I would actually say it's probably from a Metroid game. But the only Metroid game I've played is the first one, and Metroid Prime 2, and Metroid Prime Hunters. Actually, that was a good one. That was on the DS, I think. That was a good one. I like that. And I haven't played any of the rest of them. I don't even know what happens. I hope it's like Kirby kind of plots, though. That'd be good. Samus is just hanging around. and then like someone pulls up and it's like her ship, but it's blue, and they go, "Let's street race," and it's the antagonist from Need for Speed Most Wanted, like the 2006 one on the GameCube. His name was Razor. He talked like this for some reason because that was really funny. He said like amazing villain lines such as, "I'm gonna take your car and then I'm gonna take your girl," and it's like, oh. Anyways, that guy, complete with like the tank top and the tattoos and like the shaved head, pulls up and challenges Samus to a race. A space race, but not that kind of space race, not the one you're thinking of. This is a space race where they're racing in space, not a race to space, not a race to anything in particular in space. They're racing in space to see who has the faster ship, and they look the same. But here's the catch. The blue ship is not Samus's. It actually is Samus's. Samus got out of her ship at the space gas station, and that guy pulled up in a green ship, and he painted the green ship orange, and then he painted Samus's orange ship blue. And then when she took off in the ship she thought was hers, it wasn't hers. It was the other guy who showed up in the green ship. And so anyways, they're racing through space because she doesn't know she's in the wrong ship. And then it turns out, get ready for this, Ridley is teaming up with the dude in her ship that she thinks is his ship, but she's in his ship because he swapped the paint jobs at the space station. Space gas station? I don't know what they use. I just have to call it a space station because who knows what fuel they're using. They're probably using gas, let's be real. Anyways, we'll call it diesel just to be safe. They're doing a diesel race in space, and then Ridley cheats and sabotages it because he's in league. And then Samus has to give the pink slip for her ship, or what she thinks is her ship, to her opponent. But her opponent isn't her ship because she has the faster ship. So she's giving away her ship, but she doesn't know that she's already lost her ship. So she's just giving the guy back his ship, which she thinks is her ship, but it's not. It's his ship because he already has her ship. But now she's given him claim to her ship, which she's already in, so now she gets to take it. And this is the setup, because really what the plot comes down to is that Samus's ship is to Samus what cake is to Kirby. Not that she eats it, but that she needs it, and that she's going to travel the universe to get it back when someone steals it. So this guy takes off with her ship, and he pays Ridley like $5, right? And that's not worth very much in the future. So, in fact, you can maybe argue it's not worth very much right now, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, Ridley blows his $5 fortune on a cup of coffee, but the coffee has shrooms in it because Samus intercepted Ridley at the space diner and completely ruined his drink. So he's tripping, and she's like, "What happened with my ship? It was really suspicious how I was racing my ship, and you punched my ship when I was racing it, and you didn't punch his ship." And he's like spilling the beans because he's out of there, right? So he's like, "Oh, you know, just..." That's what he sounds like, presumably. Anyways, in a good way. I like Ridley. Anyways, so you have to go chasing this person on an adventure in order to get the ship back. And that's the game. It's just Kirby, but in space, is the synopsis. I would play that. That's a Metroid game I would buy instantly. I would pre-order that. They would have to have a pre-order bonus, though, like a statue of intoxicated Ridley. I would 100% buy that game. I would buy the deluxe signature edition. Oh man, what is going on? Anyway. What's going on here? I love this song because it's literally what's going through my head whenever I try to watch this game. What's going on here? Oh, man. Gotta figure out the space radio for Samus Aran's space stash, though. And also, if she doesn't have her ship, how did she get to the space cafe? I mean, Ridley can, like, fly in space, right? Presumably. I would think so, because he's just like a space xenomorph from Alien. He's just a xenomorph with, like, wings, basically, and a more pointy head. So that can go in space. So I'm assuming he can go in space. But again, I don't know. He could take, like, the space taxi. Maybe he could fly through space, but he's lazy, so he's just taking the space taxi. But if Samus... Okay, so Samus has a wallet. Okay, alright. Samus has a wallet, and so Samus takes the space taxi to the space cafe, and that's how the plot starts. Well, actually, that's a lie, because the plot already started, technically, because we had the whole space race. But there has to be a better name for it than space race, because otherwise it's going to be like, you're going to be expecting, like, Mikhail Gorbachev to pop out of the space shuttle and be like, Pizza Hut. But, so it can't be called that. But it's a literal race through space. We can call it the race through space. And, yeah, it'd be good. They would have to have some new and exciting enemies, though. So the guy from Need for Speed Most Wanted, whose name was Razor. Okay, alright, okay. So he's probably not called Razor in the Samus games because that's a little edgy. And it's the future. He can't be called Blade because there's already future movies called Blade. So... trying to think here. What could he be called? Oh, yeah, that's it. All right. Has to be called Bullet, because then it's like, oh, space. And it would be kind of a callback to the Steve McQueen movie from the 60s, which also involves cars, although no races.